Look at this bottle. $42.99. Curcumin Complex, 500 milligrams, advanced bioavailability formula, supports joint health, reduces inflammation. Now look at this. The root that compound comes from, $2.99 a pound at the grocery store. The same molecule. Extracted, concentrated, placed in a capsule, and sold back to you for 14 times the price. Turmeric has been used for centuries to treat inflammation and pain. Its active ingredient, curcumin, is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound. The supplement industry did not discover curcumin. They discovered how to charge $40 for something that has been growing in the ground for 4,000 years. I'm going to show you what the research actually says and what your grandmother already knew.
Here is how the supplement industry works, and it's worth understanding clearly. A plant contains a compound. Researchers identify the compound. They publish studies. The supplement industry extracts the compound, concentrates it, formulates it into a capsule, trademarks a branded name for the formulation, and sells it. The compound in those capsules is not synthetic. It is not created in a laboratory. It is derived from the same root you can buy at the grocery store. The difference between the $3 turmeric root and the $40 supplement is not the molecule. The supplement version typically delivers a significantly more concentrated curcumin dose than the turmeric you keep in your spice rack. That is the real difference. Concentration and bioavailability. Not a different compound, not a patented molecule, not something that doesn't exist in the plant. And the research on bioavailability has a straightforward answer that your great-grandmother would recognize: black pepper. A compound in black pepper called piperine increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That's not a supplement industry discovery. That's a 4,000-year-old Ayurvedic food combination, turmeric and black pepper, that traditional medicine had figured out before the concept of bioavailability existed as a scientific term. The $40 bottle often contains piperine listed as bioperine, the equivalent, a pinch of black pepper added to any preparation of turmeric root.
You already know this works. You may have seen it in your own kitchen. That jar of golden curry powder sitting in your spice rack, the yellow color comes from turmeric, and it has been in that spice rack for exactly as long as turmeric has been in curry, which is over 4,000 years. The grandmother who rubbed a turmeric paste on a swollen joint and told you it was an old family remedy wasn't practicing folk medicine. She was administering the same anti-inflammatory compound that is now sold in bottles with clinical language and a $42 price tag. She just didn't charge you for it. Turmeric extracts have proven to be suitable as a pain treatment for human joint arthritis in clinical trials, covering a span of 4 weeks to 4 months of treatment. The clinical trials confirmed what the kitchen already knew.
Here is what the research looks like at scale. A 2024 systematic review of 103 studies published in Phytotherapy Research found that people taking curcumin experienced significant improvements in markers linked to inflammation and metabolic health, including blood sugar, cholesterol, and body weight. 103 studies. A 2021 review of 15 randomized controlled trials found curcumin relieved osteoarthritis pain and stiffness as well or better than non-steroidal anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen and Selexicop, minus potentially serious side effects. 15 randomized controlled trials. That is the gold standard of medical evidence. The average American spends $500 to $800 per year on over-the-counter pain medications, ibuprofen, naproxen, acetaminophen, for inflammation and joint pain. Knee pain affects roughly 25% of adults over 55 years old. The compound that outperformed ibuprofen in clinical trials costs $3 a pound.
Let me give you the full picture of what the research actually shows. A systematic review and meta-analysis published in a peer-reviewed journal found that curcuma longa extract and curcumin have similar effects on joint pain, function, and stiffness compared to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, with a lower incidence of adverse events. Lower adverse events. That means fewer side effects. Ibuprofen, taken regularly, carries documented risks: gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney damage with long-term use, and elevated cardiovascular risk. These are not rare. They are documented at population scale. Curcumin's adverse event profile across multiple trials is comparable to placebo. At a molecular level, curcumin blocks NF-κB activation, which plays a role in chronic inflammation. It also inhibits inflammatory cytokines and enzymes, including cyclooxygenase 2, COX-2,
the same target as the prescription pain reliever celecoxib. The $400 a month prescription pain reliever works by blocking a specific enzyme called COX-2. Curcumin blocks the same enzyme through a slightly different mechanism, but the target is identical. Emerging research also suggests curcumin may influence the nervous system. A 2025 review in Frontiers in Pharmacology points to potential effects ranging from calming the body's stress response to neuroprotection that may reduce the risk of disorders like depression and cognitive decline. Beyond joints, beyond inflammation. A 2024 systematic review found curcumin helped improve blood sugar markers, cholesterol levels, and body weight, effects that pharmaceutical companies have entire product lines devoted to addressing. This is not a folk remedy that hasn't been studied. This is one of the most studied plant compounds in modern nutritional science, and it grows in the ground for $3 a pound.
Here is the practical part, because the research answer and the kitchen answer are slightly different. Turmeric itself contains only about 2 to 6% curcumin by weight. The Arthritis Foundation suggests opting for curcumin supplements for best results. A 500 milligram capsule twice daily with a meal that includes some healthy fats. That is the honest answer, and I'm going to give it to you straight. If you want therapeutic doses of curcumin for a specific medical condition, joint pain, inflammatory markers, a quality curcumin supplement with piperine is the most efficient delivery method. But here is what that does not mean. It does not mean the $42 bottle is the only option. Quality curcumin supplements with piperine are available from multiple manufacturers for $15 to $22. The compound is identical. The research does not favor any branded formulation over another. And for general anti-inflammatory support and long-term health maintenance, not acute therapeutic dosing, fresh or dried turmeric root, prepared correctly, delivers meaningful curcumin alongside the other beneficial compounds in the whole root that extraction removes. Here is how to prepare it for maximum absorption. Golden milk. 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder in warm milk, any type, with a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of coconut oil or any healthy fat. The fat helps curcumin absorb. The pepper amplifies it by up to 2,000%. Turmeric tea. Simmer fresh grated turmeric root in water for 10 minutes. Add black pepper and honey. Added to cooking. Any dish that includes turmeric and black pepper, curry, soups, roasted vegetables, delivers curcumin in a form the body has been processing for thousands of years. The whole food form is not as concentrated as the supplement, but it is also not $42 a bottle, and it has been doing its job for 4,000 years without a label that says Advanced Bioavailability Formula. Here is what takes this from a kitchen practice to a homestead strategy. Turmeric grows in the ground, in a pot, in a raised bed, in any location that gets 6 to 8 hours of sun and stays above 65 degrees Fahrenheit during the growing season. In USDA zones 8 through 11, which includes most of the South, California, and the Pacific Northwest, it can be grown year-round as a perennial. In colder zones, it grows as an annual, planted in spring after last frost, harvested in fall, with the rhizomes stored for the winter and replanted the following spring. Here is the yield. 1 turmeric rhizome, the root you plant, produces 6 to 12 rhizomes at harvest. Every one of those can be replanted or used. The plant self-multiplies. You plant once. You harvest in the fall. You keep a portion for next spring. You use the rest. Fresh turmeric root from your garden costs the price of the initial planting material, usually $5 to $10 for enough to start a meaningful bed. After the first season, the cost is $0. Dried and powdered at home, slice thin, dry in a low oven or dehydrator, grind in a blender or spice grinder. Stores for up to 2 years. Your own organic turmeric powder produced at home at a cost that rounds to $0.
Here is how to begin this week. First, go to the grocery store and buy a fresh turmeric root. It costs under $3. That root is both your first supply and your planting material for spring. This week, make golden milk tonight. 1 teaspoon turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, warm milk or water, a teaspoon of coconut oil. That is the preparation that traditional medicine has used for 4,000 years and that clinical research has now validated. Add black pepper to any dish you're already cooking with turmeric. The absorption increase is immediate. You don't need a supplement for this. If you want the therapeutic dose for a specific condition, buy a curcumin supplement with piperine from a reputable manufacturer. Don't pay more than $20 for a quality product.
The research does not support paying $40. In spring, plant a section of the root in a pot or garden bed, 6 inches deep. Water it in. The plant does the rest. You will never pay $42 for this compound again.
2 things I know you need to hear. First, is this safe? Curcuma longa extract and curcumin are comparable with placebo in terms of adverse events, meaning the side effect profile of therapeutic curcumin doses is essentially the same as doing nothing at all. There are 2 specific cautions. Because of drug interactions, your doctor may not recommend curcumin if you take a blood thinner, a pain reliever, or a chemotherapy or immunosuppressive medication. Turmeric and curcumin have also been linked to liver injury in some cases, which is another reason why it's important to take supplements under your doctor's supervision. If you are on blood thinners or immunosuppressants, speak with your doctor before adding therapeutic doses. This is not a disclaimer I'm required to say. It is genuinely important. Second, does it work as fast as ibuprofen? No. It may take 6 to 12 weeks to notice the full effect. Don't give up if you don't get immediate relief. Ibuprofen blocks pain acutely. Curcumin reduces the inflammatory process systemically over time. These are different mechanisms with different timelines. Curcumin is best thought of as a long-term supportive intervention that contributes to overall health when used consistently, rather than as a quick or standalone solution.
The thing about turmeric that stays with me is not the science. The science is recent. The plant is not. Turmeric is a 4,000-year-old staple of Southeast Asian cooking. For 4,000 years, across India, China, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East, people with joint pain ate this root. People with digestive problems drank it. People with wounds applied it topically. Traditional medicine did not have the vocabulary of NF-kappa B pathways and COX-2 inhibition, but it noticed what worked. And what worked, it kept using. The Ayurvedic medical tradition, which is among the oldest documented medical systems in human history, used turmeric as a primary anti-inflammatory compound for over 3,000 years before a single double-blind randomized controlled trial was published. The 103 studies, the 15 randomized controlled trials, the meta-analyses, and the systematic reviews, they did not discover what turmeric does. They confirmed it. They gave us the mechanism. They quantified the effect size. They compared it to ibuprofen and found it equivalent. They found the piperine interaction and measured the 2,000% absorption increase. But the knowledge that this root reduces pain and inflammation was not waiting for a study to make it real. It was waiting in every grandmother's kitchen that ever added turmeric and black pepper to a pot of food. The supplement industry found a way to charge $40 for something that grows in the ground for $3. That does not change what the compound is, or what it does, or how long it has been doing it. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.